welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm John Bachman. Joining us now on the phone is Louisiana Congressman John Fleming. He's also a member of the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, thanks for taking some time to talk to us.
Well, thank you, John. Great to be on with you today.
All right, so I wanted to follow up on the debate last night and the key issue that's going to be in the newspapers and on the minds of Americans moving forward, and that is sequestration. President Obama flatly said that sequestration was Congress's idea. Is the president confused? Was he misleading the public? Because I've had several congressmen tell me that sequestration was the president's idea.
Yeah, very clearly, that was the president's idea. He brought that forward to John Boehner after the failure of the so-called big deal, where Boehner kept going to him, offering larger and larger amounts of revenue, and of course the president kept pulling back on the goalpost. So finally, out of desperation, Obama advanced this notion, which was based on some prior legislation back 10 or 20 years ago, which would, of course, cause automatic cuts in areas of defense and the providers of health care if a super committee, a bipartisan, bicameral committee, could not come up with a way to cut spending that would reform entitlements. And I voted against it, frankly, John, and the reason is because I saw where it was going to cut just the things that the president wanted cuts in, and it would not reform entitlements.
And so how would you characterize the president's statement last night that this was not his idea?
Well, you know, the president's just popped up all of a sudden, and it was very convenient for him to say, well, sequestration's not going to happen. Well, it was his idea. His side, the Democrats, did not engage in any way to offer any solutions that would have prevented sequestration. It was pretty obvious they were happy with it happening, so I don't see where in the world the president could make the statement now that sequestration isn't going to happen. It happened because he wanted it to happen. And, of course, just leading up to the election, all of a sudden, he's going to tell us that it isn't going to happen for some reason.
So what options are available to the president? I mean, would he have to do some kind of executive order to make sure this is not going to happen? Or do you think that he was trying to tip his hand there, telling Congress that they're going to work together and come up with a deal?
Oh, no, executive order won't fix this. This is something that has to pass through Congress, John, and that's the whole problem, is we're no closer to a solution on cutting spending and bending the spending curve down than we ever were. Everybody knows that we've got to reform entitlements and we've got to fix and sustain Medicare and save Medicare, and Democrats have refused to engage. They would much rather hold on to sequestration and allow the Bush tax rates to lapse back up to higher rates, and then go forward with their next 4 years of a much more tax and spend agenda that the president has pursued for the last 4 years.
And so, again, going back to those comments that this is not going to happen, was this campaign rhetoric? Was this a convenient statement by the president? Was he misleading the public? What ground does he have to stand on to make those comments?
Johnny has no ground to stand on. He can't do it by himself. He can't reverse it. He would have to pass something through Congress. And there's not time enough to pass this legislation before the end of the year. At best, and this would be with a Romney elected president, we will delay the onset of sequestration and then move next year into legislation that would actually reform entitlements and then would restore the sequestration cuts and prevent them from actually ever taking hold. So, no, the president is incapable and certainly unwilling to prevent sequestration. That was simply a re-election comment, I guess, would be the best way to describe it.
All right, Congressman John Fleming, a member of the House Armed Services Committee. Thanks for your insight, sir. You have a great day.
Great. Thank you so much, John.